to a special New Year's edition of Plugged Into DFW. I'm Adrienne Bankert. And of course, with the new year comes new commitments, new resolutions to eating better, staying healthier, and maybe losing some of those pounds gained over the holiday season. So we're talking about it with one of the authors of a new book. This is called How to Be a Healthy Vegetarian. And Nancy Addison is not only a chef and nutrition expert, but she's the author of this book, and she's going to tell us about the difference between unhealthy and healthful living on a plant-based diet. I wouldn't have thought that there was a way to be unhealthy if all you're doing is eating green stuff. But tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, just eating a plant-based diet doesn't mean you're necessarily eating all green stuff.
Right.
And a lot of people think just because they're cutting out meat out of their diet that they're eating healthier, but they may be eating fast food or processed food or
French fries.
things that are loaded with sugar. And so it creates ill health as compared to a more plant-based, natural, whole food diet that is more healing.
So when you say quick foods, convenience food items, I mean, I have a tendency to snack on dried fruit, but I know it's high glycemic. I know there's a lot of sugar in there. So then I think, okay, let me compensate by maybe eating something green later, like next week. But how do you balance those cravings when all you're doing is eating maybe, dried apricots or dried coconut, and your body is having way too much starch?
Well, it's important to have foods that are handy for when you're traveling and things like that. And of course, we're all on the go. And so one of the things that I do is I go to the store and I shop around the outside of the store where there's the fresh fruits and vegetables,
right, and
get the things that you can chop up easily, like cucumbers or bell peppers or zucchinis or even okra. And you can chop those up, sprinkle a little sea salt on them, or even put a little lemon juice on them, put them into baggies or little containers in your refrigerator, and then when you need a snack, you can grab them and you've got it, and it's easy. And those will last a couple of days, and a baggie of carrots or something like that, and it makes a really easy, healthy, whole food snack.
Do you need to purchase organic produce? Is that something that we need to be mindful of?
I actually think yes. And one of the reasons is when plants are grown with chemical fertilizers and pesticides, which is what happens to foods that are not organically grown, that actually keeps the plant from absorbing sulfur and chromium. And those are critical for our health. And I think it's one of the keys to why there's so much diabetes and cancer in the country today. Because sulfur, it's very fragile, and when the chemical fertilizers and pesticides are put on the soil, it destroys that. Well, the sulfur is the main nutrient we need in order to get oxygen into our cells, oxygen being our main nutrient.
Right.
And then the chromium is the main nutrient we need to get the sugar from our bloodstream into our muscles.
Okay.
So those are two critical things, and they are only in organic food.
Right, and you don't think about the chemical breakdown of it when you're purchasing organic produce versus produce that's not organic. You're just thinking of the price tag sometimes, but you can't put a price tag on your health. Do you think that disease can be reversed if someone is primarily eating junk food, convenience food, and a lot of meat? Can they reverse disease in their body by switching to a plant-based diet, even temporarily?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the studies are really showing, and even Dr. Esselstyn, who was president of the medical staff at the Cleveland Clinic, he had a 20-year study that proved that undeniably that a plant-based diet can actually prevent and reverse the effects of heart disease.
Wonderful.
And I just believe when you give the body the right tools, it will really heal itself.
Right, and how can we switch out meats and fast food for vegetables? I know you were mentioning okra with lemon juice and sea salt in a plastic baggie, but for those people who are more used to colorful or fried options, I mean, what's a simple way to say, let's reprogram our mind, let's reprogram our refrigerator?
Well, I'll tell you, people, they taste some of these foods and they go, oh, I don't really like it, but really our taste buds are acclimated to what we're eating at the time. So if we want to change our diet, there's good news. That if our taste buds are constantly regenerating, so if we start a new diet and we stick with it for 3 weeks, 2 weeks to 3 weeks, our taste buds actually reacclimate to our new food. And so when you taste that food 3 weeks out, it actually does taste better than it did the first time you taste it.
Yeah.
So just getting into doing it and eating more vegetables and putting more vegetables into your dishes and your stir fries, you can add more vegetables to your diet, and you can move in that direction and get your taste buds to acclimate to your new diet.
What does a healthy vegetarian drink? Do vegetarians drink soda pop? Do they drink Coke? I'm curious.
Well, I'll have to admit, I am a huge water drinker.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I think water and oxygen are our main nutrients, and I just feel that most disease today is actually a result of chronic intercellular dehydration.
Say that in layman's terms.
We need to drink more water.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Keep it simple for all of us who are, maybe hooked on soda. But drinking more water, obviously, maybe flavoring that with some fresh cucumber or some fresh strawberries in your water, or orange slices and lemon and lime, right?
Absolutely.
I'm right there with you.
I think that is an absolute great way to do it.
All right. Thank you so much, Nancy Addison. You can actually find Nancy's new book, How to Be a Healthy Vegetarian, right now on Amazon.com. So thank you so much for being with us. Maybe you're like so many of us who can't stop snacking, but it's what you're snacking on that could be a problem. Sugar. It's in almost everything. It leaves you wanting more and more and more. Is a life without sugar really better? We're going to talk about that next.